About a week ago, I decided to start a series called The BUNK Report. Today is episode 2, August 20th, 2026. You're tuned in, I'm your pal Cal, and we're going to be going over a couple of things thanks to the awesome supporters on Patreon. Now, the first tool in particular has nothing to do with tech at all. It's actually in the realm of just lockpicking and pen testing in general, and I am in no way, shape, or form a lockpicker. As a matter of fact, I picked my first lock back in, I want to say, April, on my way to New Jersey to visit Rabbit Labs. And it kind of made me interested in learning more about lockpicking. Now, there is one thing that I absolutely love, and I like to fidget. I can't stand in one place. I can't sit in one place. I either have to rock or play with something in my hands. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm figuring it out. I think it's just the mass influx of caffeine and coffee and energy drinks. Yeah, when it comes to getting the right tools for the right job, you get what you pay for. If you buy a $3 screwdriver, it might break or be made of damn near sticks and bubblegum. If you get an iFixit set, for example, it's gonna last you quite some time. And I've heard really good things about different types of tools, but I enjoy the tools that I use, and depending on what I have to do, I will get a tool for that thing. Now, there are a lot of good deals, and a lot of times you'll find no-name brands that work way better than an original. As a matter of fact, an example of this is this screwdriver. This is not a screwdriver. Where's my screwdriver? This screwdriver that you'll typically get with a 7-puppy display repair, and I have like a full cup of these, and they're a no-name screwdriver that I've actually found some of these on Alibaba and AliExpress for literally 50 cents. And these screwdrivers outperform the Marlin set, the Marlin PH0 that I use for Flipper Zero repairs, or with a lot of different repairs. They'll typically strip the actual screws on whatever I'm working with, but this doesn't. And this is a great example of, it's not about you get what you pay for, it's just reliable and it doesn't break the bank. Now, that's not to say on today's first topic, which is the Grav pick. Ever since I first saw the Grav pick, I was absolutely in love with this thing, and I've been playing with it since I got it. But there have been so many knockoffs of this device in particular, and you'll find them littered through AliExpress. And I gotta say, I got one in front of me right now, and we're going to be doing a comparison between the actual Grav pick and what you'll find on AliExpress. Alright, so here we have the Grav pick that's available on covertinstruments.com. This is the official website, and it's, it comes with a short hook, it comes with a medium hook. I'll show you guys what it comes with, because the packaging is phenomenal, and the quality of the device itself, or the tool itself, is absolutely amazing. Now, if we go over to AliExpress, and it's also on Temu and other websites as well, you'll find what looks like the exact same thing, but it's definitely not. It makes it look like it is the same thing, but if we look carefully, there's just something off about this, and believe it or not, I actually got one. Now, it was $3.50, and I've been waiting to do a video on this for about a month and a half now. So I thought, why not put it in the BUNK Report, because the quality is comedic. It comes in this really, really fancy case, and you just open this pull tab right here, and on the inside, you'll find all your other standard rakes. I got the Reaper pick set with it just because I like the Reaper picks more than anything else. And the way that it kind of operates, well, it's named the Grav pick, and it kind of relies on gravity. That way you can open it up and close her anytime you want. And horrible example right there, trying to do it with one hand. I'm still getting used to this, but it's heavy, it's machined, it's quality, dude. And right here we have the AliExpress Grav pick. Now you can tell it's slightly larger, but it's completely made of plastic. Aside from just having like replacement picks and being able to swap between the picks that you want on the back, you have your tuning rod that sits in there really snug. Like at first I was kind of concerned. I was like, man, would it pop off? No, it's really in there. And if we open this up real quick, we can see our picks they're pretty high quality. Now this is not an official pick, and matter of fact, I'm almost sure that this pick would not fit, as it is literally almost 4 times its size. And it's made of what I can only describe as, well, not aluminum, whatever, tin. This feels like solder, dude. Now the Grav pick feels heavy. It feels like an actual tool. Like, not only is it a nice fidget toy, but it feels like an actual tool. And this is, well, for one, it doesn't, like, you have to pull this sucker up for it to actually retract out. It doesn't slide. It's advertised as a fidget, but there is no fidget involved. Covert Instruments picks are really thin, but they are even more durable than this thick piece of garbage that will 100% not fit in a lock. Like, there's no, this is not going anywhere. Also, this is this ain't doing nothing, man. This is this is terrible. For around $4, you're definitely getting what you pay for, but you might as well set $4 on fire, because not only are you left with something that does not work, nor is it useful for anything, you're probably either gonna break it, throw it in the trash, and then wish you had an actual Grav pick. And I would implore you to support companies like Covert Instruments, as they make quality tools, and especially if you wanted to get into lockpicking in particular, there are actual lockpicking companies that really pour their souls into their craft and perfect through trial and error to make sure that not only when they put out something good is it good, but it's also exactly what it's intended to be. Now, this is a Seed Studio Xiao ESP32C5. There's a vast variety of Xiao ESPs. You'll find the S3s, the C6s, the C3s, the C5s. Xiaos are in many different shapes and sizes, and they're not just limited to ESPs. There are Arduino Xiaos or Cduinos. There's even MG24 Senses models that have an accelerometer and a speaker, NRF52s. You'll find almost every microcontroller in a Xiao form factor. And I'm a huge fan of the Xiao series, as they're modestly priced and you literally get what you pay for. Now, C5s are still relatively new, so a lot of people are used to grabbing a specific microcontroller for pretty damn dirt cheap, and most of them are open source specs, which is why you'll find a lot of them on AliExpress, Temu, Amazon, and that being the Super Mini series. Now, you have C3 Super Minis that I actually use in a lot of my projects, and a lot of other SAOs and projects prototype using a C3. You can get them as cheap as $1, and there have been bad batches, and it's been documented numerous times. They're either not spec'd correctly or not assembled, or the internal antenna is doo-doo garbage. There's a lot of things that kind of come into play with you get what you pay for. Now, this ESP32C5 is relatively brand new, as it just recently came into the market about a month ago, and it's an ESP32C5. It's not exactly the same size as the other Super Minis that we've seen in the past, as it's slightly larger than the Xiao ESP32C5, but with a key difference. For example, a Seed Studio Xiao ESP32C5 comes with 8 megabytes of flash memory, which is perfect for a lot of the projects that we've showcased here on this channel. Want to build a DIY biscuit? Xiao C5. You want to build yourself a cluster? Xiao C5. And you still have a lot of flash memory on, that you don't need as for a cluster. All you need is 4 megabytes, which is exactly the amount of flash memory that you get with the Super Mini series. Now, look at the price of the Super Mini C5. It's about $7, and this is the cheapest that I could find it. I have, on occasion, found them for as cheap as $5, but even then, for $2 extra, you can get a smaller, more compact, wider ecosystem IPEX connector, which is also available on the Super Mini C5 in particular as well, in that top right hand corner, but you have to actually swap a resistor as opposed to the Xiao ESP32C5. And I guess what I'm getting at with this is I actually got one in my hands, and I've been playing around with them for about 3 weeks now. And I have a few pros and cons that come with this Super Mini in particular. Now, I've lined all these microcontrollers up on the line. That way you can tell that, you can see the size comparison between all of these. And these first 5 are Super Minis, while this is the actual ESP32C5 Xiao. And next to it is a QT Py S3 that you can find in the Adafruit series. A lot of times you'll find that the QT Pys can be be compatible with the Xiaos, depending on what you actually want to stick, to them through the GPIO. And you could tell that they got this exact same amount of pins, but we're not going to focus on these. These are the Super Minis, H2, C3, S3, C6, C5. And you could tell that the C5 Super Mini is by far the largest Super Mini that's ever come out. This C6 Super Mini for the longest time was the longest out of the entire group. But that seems to have changed as the C5 is a single pin up. So about 2.54 millimeters longer than the actual ESP32 C6. You can find H2s for as cheap as $1.50, $2, but you have no Wi-Fi, support for IoT devices, as well as Bluetooth. No Wi-Fi though. With the C3, you get Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, clock speeds of 160 megahertz, and this S3 has 4 megabytes of flash memory, which is actually kind of decent, as you can sometimes find them as cheap as $1.50 on AliExpress, but they're typically priced for, I want to say, $2.50, $3.50. It all depends, but you get the exact same amount of flash memory as you get on the Cutie Pie, except the Cutie Pie is just a hair smaller than the Super Mini S3. This is the Super Mini C6, and the Super Mini C6 is, it's large. It's much larger than the Xiao series, and the Xiao C6, well, they're all the exact same size. So you literally are getting more with the Xiao, and I mean, Super Mini C6s can sometimes cost as cheap as $2.50, $3.50, and you'll find that as a trend among the Super Mini series in particular, except for the Super Mini C5. With all the Super Minis, you don't get a UFL connector except for the Super Mini C5. You get a UFL connector right there for you to attach an external antenna, which typically comes stock on a Xiao depending on what you're working with, especially a C5. It comes stock. But they do also sell C3 Super Minis for like $1 extra. I believe they call them C3 Super Mini Pros, and they come with a UFL connector, but in all honesty, at that point, you should just definitely get a Xiao. There is an argument to be made about the amount of pins that you get on a Super Mini as opposed to a Xiao ESP32 C5, but you literally get double the flash memory on the Xiao for $1.50 more. Ultimately, I wouldn't consider the Super Mini like bunk per se, but man, the C5 in particular, unless it was priced exactly how much they're selling the C3 Super Minis for or the S3 Super Minis for, it's just not necessarily a good deal. And unfortunately, people see them right now on AliExpress and assume that a lot of the custom firmware that we've gone over on this channel, like the Biscuit firmware, will flash, and it won't. And a lot of custom firmware needs, at the minimum, 8 megabytes of flash memory. There's other custom firmware that might work with 4 megabytes, but you get more bang for your buck, as well as a full Xiao ecosystem when you go with a Xiao over a Super Mini. And that's also not saying that the C3 Super Minis aren't amazing for rapid prototyping or cheap and inexpensive projects like the SAOs that are right behind me, as the Nyan SAO, the BWM SAO, the Hailhound SAO. There are so many SAOs that are powered by ESP32 C3 Super Minis, as they're reliable, especially if you just want to blink some LEDs. Anyway, that's today's episode. I've been really anticipating going over the Grav pick knockoff thing, plastic piece of garbage. It's absolutely terrible. You can find out for yourself, but believe me when I say you will 100% regret it. If you wanted to grab an authentic Grav pick, I'll link the link down below, as Covert Instruments makes 5-star Covert Instruments. They completely live up to their name. Super Minis vary, and if you are grabbing a microcontroller for a specific project, check the specs and look at what other people have said about that specific microcontroller. That way you don't grab something that'll just absolutely Alt F4 itself within 15 minutes of wiring something to it, or just be flat out something that you'll regret buying. I love your face. We'll see you next time. This has been the BUNK Report.